This week's Hunting Hot Seat is brought to you by Beretta, 500 years, one passion.
When does management go too far and take the fun out of hunting, or even the hunt out of hunting? That's the topic of this week's Hunting Hot Seat.
Gary, we're getting pretty good at managing deer nowadays. I'm not talking about me and you, I'm talking about the whole country. We're figuring this out. It's working. But I got a question. When does management begin to take the hunt out of hunting?
David, for me, it's two areas. If we high fence a tract, and I'm not going to qualify acreage, irregardless of acreage, when you push that herd density too high to where they run out of food to eat and they become totally dependent on your food, that's one example.
Exactly.
A second example is in this pen breeding deal when you're releasing tame deer that have been managed and handled a lot, and it's like a put and take. That's a second example.
Well, I certainly agree with those examples, but I'd go a little further. I think you do have I think you have acreage limitations. I think when a piece of property is too small and you put a high fence around it, it's just not fair chase anymore.
But the problem is, what is that?
I'm not going to define that right now, but I know it when I see it.
Well, I agree with that. You know, we've got examples of people that have had several hundred acres, high fence, and they can't find their deer to shoot.
I know.
Some of them.
I know.
But it's that personality thing we talked about.
That'll take it to the second point you made, though. If those deer become dependent, especially on supplemental feed, you acclimate those deer, and they're no longer wild deer. They become dependent on that feed, and they become livestock. They damage native habitat. They're stressed, and they're easy to hunt. You keep them healthy and fat, especially on food plots. They're tough, even on small acreage.
The great thing about food plots is 24 hours a day access to it.
Yeah.
The bottom line is when you can have a photo album, these are my deer.
Yeah.
Which one do you want? And you can go show him first morning.
It's not hunting.
It's not hunting.
No. But Gary, the other point I want to make, I think if you're handling deer at all, then you've taken the fair chase out of it. And I know you disagree a little on that.
I think there's limitations on that. If it's a wild deer, short period of time, and a wild deer, the research in Texas has shown if he's lucky, he's going to sire 6 or 7 offspring in his lifetime.
No, don't handle deer. Don't handle deer. Give them plenty of room to roam. Preserve the quality of the native habitat. Let them get old and smart, and don't ever handle them. That deer be wild, that's fair chase. That's deer management.
That's true.
To me, the point of management is to enhance an already awesome experience. When it stops being fun, maybe you've gone too far.
This week's Hunting Hot Seat was brought to you by Beretta, 500 years, one passion.